Hello everyone. I am now going to show you how you create data, I guess. So it's fairly simple. So first of all, we're going to start into here with the changes. So you know I've already done this part, and this part. I just commented out, and I commented these out. So just uncomment them if you've followed along and wrote this code. But other than that, write this and this, and write this and this. So pretty much you're just grabbing the models that we made when we did the database for guild and users. We're then using that model to set it equal to guild and player when we find it. So we can update it later. Sorry about that. And here, this pretty much checks if we don't have any data. So if the user doesn't have data, this will send, and they won't be able to use a command until they do. However, if they send create, they'll create a. If they send this command, it'll let them run it. And this just checks if the data doesn't exist, pretty much. And then, as for here, uncomment these out. These here will be important. And what I'm going to do is, and what you should do, is right after these in each of your commands, write data, or wherever this is, and this is, and these, just so that you can correspond with it, so it's corresponding to it. But that's pretty much all you should do. So I'm going to do that now. Just go through each of them. There you go. Now, that's it for this file, so that's all I messed around with that. You already know what to do with these. Alright, before we continue with create, I went back to the schemas, which is in our schema folder. And for guild schema, I put the ID in the name. That's pretty much all I did. Just put the name in if you already have the ID. As for the user schema, this is everything I'm doing. But really put in anything you want. But for the future of these videos, make sure you have these. Make sure you have, you can do coins, yeah. Cooldowns, yeah, if you want. I'm pretty sure I'll be using that in some of these videos. Inventory, yes. These two, Pokemon and Pokébox, yes, because someone requested doing something with Pokemon, so there you go. Everything else, this here, is all from my other bot, but now you see it. But yeah, I'm going to be making player versus environment stuff. I'm using inspiration from Elden Ring as a way of doing like stats and everything, because I thought it was pretty cool, and it'll be nice to put in a bot. Anyways, this is all I did. Just make sure you label with a semicolon, brackets, and put the type. But yeah, that's all you need for at least these videos. If you need anything else and I go over it, I'll let you know which ones. But you can also put in whatever you want. You can name it whatever you want. I don't care. Now that I changed that, we can go onto the file. So in the commands folder, I put down another folder. I call it the UI. There really isn't any user interface with it, but it's just I just don't know what to put this under, and most of the like the inventory stuff will go under this anyways. Because if you're making a game or doing something, it would I would think consider user interface anyways. So yeah. Now I guess I might as well mention this in my next few videos or whatever. I'll be going over Pokemon stuff for a request, but I just started doing a JSON, and this is every single Series 1 Pokemon from all the way to 151. I'm not asking you to do all this because you don't have to, but you will need to do as many Pokemon as you want if you're planning on doing that. But again, I only did the name, number, type 1, type 2, and yes, I did make a new folder in the static called JSONs, and that's where I put Pokemon. How you start the JSONs, if you don't know already, I'll do im.JSON. No, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I gotta make this file anyways eventually, but pretty much you make the im.json, and in order for it to be used, that's all you have to do. As for writing and stuff, the syntax, gotta do like items, so you have to put into two quotes, do that, semicolon, and just make an array. So put this in, name, same thing, value, again quotes, and that will be, let's say, item. And then every time you need to go to another one, you put a comma, do this, value, semicolon, and for numbers, just put down the number, doesn't really matter. And that's pretty much it. Anytime you need to make a new one, do this, do the same thing. Usually it saves your stuff. As you can see there, if I did this, it's right down here. And if I do this, it shows right there that that's what corresponds to this. If I was doing the same thing, and of course put value in, and do 70, and there. That's pretty much it for that. And if you're going to add anything else outside of this, just do that, comma, another, and there you go. That's pretty much JSON. We'll access these files in another video, but yeah, that's why I changed to static and with the schemas. Anyway, now for create. Pretty much start off with application command type, module that exports, have that equal to, with curly brackets open, info, make sure you put the name, the description, type like you normally would, async, execute, app, interaction data, embed. Make sure you just have that. Now what we're doing is we're doing it again here, but we kind of have to in order to create new data. Now you can do this in interaction create if you want to. You just need to put it under here, right here. You can put it like, put this here, put create here. Pretty much just take the code, at least this, and put that all there, and it will work. Alright. Anyway, no, I don't want to do that, but because because honestly, you don't have to do this either if you don't want to. You can have people run, but if some commands require data, you can check if it needs data, and then tell them they can't unless they do the create command. As for me, I might because of this and even information, but yeah. So here I will show you what I mean. Alright. So let's say new file. No. Inventory. Okay, I'll do this anyways eventually. This will require data, so don't have to follow me. I'm just showing you an example of how you would do that. You're going to do it anyways. Nope. Jesus. Description. Shows the player inventory. Okay. Now, of course. Did I spell that right? No, I didn't. I think I just spelled it wrong. Yeah, I did. There. Alright. Alright. So with that written up, what you would do is you would do const player, just player this time, equals data. Then you would do if player is equal to null. Direction dot apply. You don't have data to run. You don't have any data on this bots. Else. Okay. So what I'm going to hurry up too quick is refresh my database and delete my data. Come on. Load. Load. Okay, whatever. Alright. So, as I wait for that as it's being slow, what you can do is remove this. And then go here and hope this works. Delete this. Come on, deletes. Alright, delete data. Alright, now I'm going to test it in the server. And I'll just tell you if it works. So, should probably turn it on, shouldn't I? I'll probably have to give it, delete that. Probably have to give it a moment. Alright. Don't see it. Okay. Gotta wait. Okay, I decided to just record here because my recording decided to shut off. So, as I wait for the freaking bot to show that I have it. Should probably turn it on. Come on. Come on. Oh yeah, I did it right. No doubt about that. It's just gonna take a bit. What the fuck? Oh, there it goes. Okay, there. See, it takes a bit. So, if I run this, I have no data currently, and it said you don't have any data on this bot. However, I can use, say, the cat. There you go. I'm able to use a command, but I'm able to not use some commands. You just have to do that for all of them, and I probably will just. So if I do it like this, this is all the code that you will need, at least plus the data. What we could do is we can try and use our utility file. So we have to find it. It's in static, of course. So again, right in here, go under here and do check for data, and we want to pass in data. So it should get two things. So what we want to do is, when we go here, all we want to do is app.utility dot. We call it check for data. Alright. Check for data, and we're passing in data. So now if we just copy all that into here, we'll do player data, make this sync, player equals null, send this, send that. Okay, we need to send an interaction as well. That's also good to do. Put that there, put interaction there. Alright, and now run the bot. If I go in here and I do inventory, it'll say I don't have any data on this bot, and a cat picture. Alright, so that's a much easier way of doing it, so you don't have to keep copy pasting, just put it into utility, and there you go. But yeah, it won't work if I had data. And now I'll get to the data part. Alright, so now that we're here, I'm going to turn off the bot. Now that we have that, this is our test file pretty much. I'll be working more with this, of course, but that's our test file. We add in for check data into utility, which is under our static, that function. There we go. Now we can use it over and over again, but we don't want to send this. But for now, we'll keep it there, but before the end of this video, I'm going to remove it because we don't actually want to send that. We just want to send this. This is just for testing to see if we even have data. which you can see you have data if you look in your database. But yeah, we removed it from here, add it here for all checks across all files that need data in there. So now, this is inventory command. I'll mess with that later. Now, in here, make sure you can do that. Modular exports, info, name, the description, the type, chat input, like always. Then we need to do execute app interaction data embed. Make sure those correspond to each other. That's what I would do. I'm pretty much sure I already went through all that, but it's important. We already did this, but you need to do it again in order to use guild models and player model. Now you could, if you wanted to, pass these into here, but I don't really think you need to, and you're only ever going to copy this again one time into here, and you're never going to use this here again. As far as I know, you don't have to use that here again. You would just use the data. So we will need this to get the data. So now, because we have a try catch, we do need a sync, and since we are using await as well. So make a try catch block, which helps handle data. So try, and in the catch, put the variable error, then console.log the error after the open brackets. When here for guild data, if guild if it equals null, which doesn't exist, or no, yeah, pretty much doesn't exist or whatever. Guild equals guild model, which is this, and the ID, the guild ID with the guild name, then guild await, guild equals await guild, which will get this, and we'll save that data. And that's it for guild. Doesn't matter. This will hardly ever run, and it'll only run once per server. Alright. That's pretty much all it does. It will get the server details. Now, I have it in there because there might be something you want to do with the guild, like store something in the database for it. And there you go. That's how you would do it. But I can work with this some more if you need me to, or if I end up needing to anyways, I will. Anyway, now to create player data. So if player equals null, so if we don't have any, player equals new player model, and now make sure you have the ID in the name. So the ID, so interaction member.id, interaction user.tag. Alright, coins, we're setting it as a new map. I'll get into this once I actually go to deal with coins later on. This is only for the create command. Cooldowns, make that a new map as well. Same with inventory. I put this because I was planning on implementing something with it that has to do with features of Elden Ring as an inspiration, and the Pokebox, which you will need putting in a new map. And then we're going to try and catch. Now you do not have to always have this. You don't need this, but I do because I'm trying to send a direct message to the user. So if we're sending a direct message, await interaction .member.send, what you need to say. Then I put await.reply, just to reply that it was sent to you in the direct messages. And in our error, it'll console log that we can't DM that user. And we'll just say data was created for you anyways, and there you go. Now you don't need this, but and we don't really use that, but it's whatever it is. Just have that if you're going to do a DM. If not, just put this in here, put this in there, or whatever you want to say that they've created data, and there you go. Then to save the data, player equals await player.save. Now save the player data. Then in our else, after this if statement with player, pretty much if we try to run this command again, it will again run through here, but it'll say we already have data. So what I will probably do is, I think we can make this much better and do, yes, I see you in the van. Alright, so if I want to do this, I'll probably do it like this. What are you gonna get on me for? What do you want? So if anything, you can put a check in here saying if, no, it'll have to be right down below here. If player equals null, oh, if it does not equal null, then do, you already have data right here. And if you want to, then you don't really need that. All you have to do is just do that there. No, should probably do return, just in case. I know, I see, you're trying to bother me while I'm trying to make a video. You can't wait. Alright. And then do just comments. Checks if player has data, if they do stop the command and they already have it. There. Whatever. That's always a check that you could do. I might keep it just cause you don't need these if loops, but well, this if statement. But yeah, at least it wouldn't try and run this again or go this far. At least it will stop right here. So that's what that does. And I've already explained through that. So pretty much that's everything, but I think for me, I'm going to go ahead and keep that there. Yeah. Anyway, now it's time to test if this actually works. Right? So turn the bot on. Alright. We're in the server, so let's try. We can use this to do that. However, if we try inventory, it doesn't work right. Well, now we can do create. It sent me a DM, plus it sent me a DM here. Data was created for you. Go back here. Move it. And now, if we do inventory, you got data. That's all it does. And then if we try to use create again, you already have data. There you go. That's all it really does. That's pretty much it. So yeah, that wasn't really interesting, but yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to show you. That's all that I did, and I did remove from the check for data, I did remove the else statement that was here. That was this one, as you can see. I did remove that. And that's pretty much it. Now, you can do a GitHub of this, and as I will say, make sure you download GitHub Desktop. Make sure you have a GitHub account. Make sure you have a repository. Name it. Once you have a GitHub, make sure you clone that repository by the URL of the website with where your repository is, and then simply you'll need then once you put all these files in there, make sure you have a git ignore file. And then also make sure you put package lock JSON along with your .env, which should already show up, but if it doesn't, there you go. Your .env, so that doesn't show up as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for ignore on all that. Ignore these two and everything. You'll also get the license here if you put a license down, and you'll get this readme. And yeah, that's pretty much it for all that. But I won't really go too much in depth with GitHub because the hosting for Heroku is going down. There isn't really too much a hosting for GitHub, unless I think you have to pay to even get a host to use the GitHub hosting, if they even has one. But yeah, because Heroku is stopping its free stuff, because there's apparently a lot of users using it and they don't like that. So in order for us to really get a free hosting, we have to. There is one thing, but I haven't really tested it out, and I don't know if you need GitHub for it, but you probably don't. When I watched the video, they weren't really too talkative on GitHub, so there. Anyway, that's it. If you got any more requests, just send them, and see ya. Oh, and one more thing is that apparently in the purge command that I made in the last video, I don't know what's up with it, but there's probably some small issue I haven't found, because sometimes it will work, sometimes it will just reply with the wrong thing, saying this thing's already two weeks old when it shouldn't be, and I'm not exactly sure why that is or what's happening there, but just be aware of that. I don't know exactly what a fix is for it. I've only really looked on how to even do a purge command and understood what this stuff does anyways. After reading documentation on what most of it does and how it works, and I don't exactly know why it's doing the stuff it's doing, but it's mainly this here. Whenever it's subtracting and then comparing, for some reason it gets it wrong, and then it will run this and it'll send that. I don't know why. I thought it was because since I only have one in, it was going to 0, but again, there isn't exactly a reason, but it could also be this as well. I have no clue. If you can figure out why it's doing that, sometimes not working all the time, go ahead. Sometimes you have to literally sit there and force it, but I don't know. I'll look into it. I already put a pin in on the server to see if I can do anything about it. But for now, this is the best I can really do at this current moment with what I'm given. I don't know. Mod commands aren't my strong suit, but I did it anyways, and that's all I care about. At least it works. At least it does what it needs to do. As it only goes up to 2 weeks. You can't delete any messages after 2 weeks. That's all. But you can still delete messages with this. Sometimes it'll be buggy, but you can try and fix it, or I'll fix it eventually. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Finally, goodbye.